Hello everyone, hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we're going to be going over Tiny Tina's Wonderland patch notes or hotfix update that they released basically today. And basically we're going to be going over this and just breaking down what is going on, like what they're talking about. Because there is some really cool changes and quality of life fixes that they have done to this update. Now obviously the DLC is out. We will save that conversation for another time, but the DLC is currently out. Start the DLC, you will need to first download the content drop. Vesper is basically over at the Dreamvale Out Overlook, so I'm going to show you basically how to get there now. I'm going to show you how to get there. Basically, you just want to go straight to the overworld, and then you want to run basically where I'm running, and you'll see the Dreamvale Overlook. It was a little confusing at first, and that's one thing I will say is, like, why could they not give you like a little alert or quest notification or something that you need to go here, and then you can, you know, set it on your waypoint mark and then it'll show you where to go. This was a little confusing. I mean, they do note it here in their patch notes, but not everybody reads the patch notes. Anyway, let's move on. So we have some changes based on feedback from the community. That is us, so thank you very much to the community. This is definitely some really awesome changes. So starting off, lucky dice are now tracked per profile instead of per character, which is actually, that is really good change, because you know, I played a couple of characters now, trying to do a couple of builds, and it's really annoying that you keep getting the same dice and you can't just have the loot luck that you've already gained, because it is a bit of grind to get those dice. And it's also good because I definitely haven't got all 260 dice yet, so it's nice that when I can play on other characters I can see the dice that I've missed instead of the ones that I already have. So awesome quality of life change. Fate makers can now rename their pets and characters at the quick change station. Let's friggin' go. That is awesome. Can't wait to play around with the names and get my pets actually having a name. Instead of just the mushroom and the lich, we can actually have some cool, funny, creative names, which I like that. Great quality of life change. Chaos tiers can now go to level 35. Awesome, because now primordial gear will now appear starting at Chaos tier 35, which is going to be insane. I'm really excited to see the difference between primordial gear from the normal, chaotic, and the volatile version. Very cool. Very interested to see how that plays out, how all their stats look. This is the best friggin' change ever. If you guys have been grinding an absolute bunch load of chaos chambers, you will know the enemies do not spawn in quick enough. They really do not. So for the endless dungeons, they have been allowed to start sooner to give fate makers more targets at once. Thank you, sheesh man. It's so annoying just running around and not being able to find enemies, or there's one enemy that spawns and you're just killing them too quick. Moon Orb currency has been adjusted. This is awesome, another amazing quality of life. I thought it was really weird that you could only hold 4,000 and you seem to cap out on 4,000 so quickly. And then all your enchantments were costing so much if you're continuously re-rolling on the same weapon. So yeah, I'm glad they made this change. So basically the Fate Maker can hold from 4,000 to 16,000 Moon Orbs. It's a 4 times increase, which is awesome. Single Moon Orb drops are now worth 20 instead of 10. Awesome, they're going to be worth more as they get dropped, because now we can collect more. Moon Orb stacks are worth 80 instead of 40 due to these changes. Moon Orb stacks now slightly less to drop versus single orbs. I don't think that's going to matter too much. We're getting like literally double the amount in the stacks now, so even if they spawn less, it's still probably going to add up the same anyway. The final chest in the Chaos Chambers Endless Dungeon will now drop 14 Moon Orb stacks, so I just had to go grab my calculator because, you know, I can't do 14 times 80 in my head. But basically, when you finish the Chaos Endless Dungeons now, you will get 1,120 Moon Orbs, basically, from just completing the Endless Dungeon, which is awesome. That is fantastic. Reroll costs now adjust for the rarity of gear, with legendaries being more expensive to reroll. I suppose that's okay. I suppose that's not too bad. But, I mean, if we're going to have 16,000 Moon Orbs, I can't see this being an issue, but it doesn't really say how much it's going to be more on the legendaries, so gonna have to test it out. The cost to reroll will stop increasing after 4,000 Moon Orbs, allowing Fate Makers to continuously reroll their gear. Thank you. Yes, it was ridiculous that your weapon would need 4,000 Moon Orbs and you could only get 4,000 Moon Orbs, so thank you very much. They also have fixed various reported rare crashes So not going to go over these too much, but yeah, if you're experiencing any crashes, I know we definitely did once in co-op, but I can't really see any of the reasoning here or why we crashed. I'm assuming it was just probably one of these things and we just didn't realize it. Again, address the following reported concerns. Yeah, they've also addressed a lot of following reported concerns. We're not going to go through this too much. Just going to like slowly go through it so you guys can actually see what it all is, like room puzzle timers. Would not correctly for all fate makers and co-op. That was super annoying. Like in this one, straight under the room puzzle one, we got Dragonlord would be shown as being in the immune state when he wasn't. That's interesting. Like, there's a lot of times I can remember he's in an immune state, so I'm gonna have to go back and fight Dragonlord to see how much that's actually changed. So we have the Spore Warden's Blizzard action skill, Greyborn's Die Sacrifice action skill. They were unable to deal critical hit. Now they can. And I know there's some kind of nuke build with Die Sacrifice Greyborn, so I don't know how that's going to go with critical hits now. Blizzard being able to hit critical hits is going to be super sweet for those Spore Warden Frost builds. There's some really good just changes. Again, I don't really use these skills, but a spell shot double, not a passive ability, would not deal the correct amount of bonus damage. That might be crazy now that's fixed. Stabbermancer Ghostblade was not properly updating damage when a melee weapon was unequipped. So again, I don't know if that's going to change a lot. They also changed that the Bread Slicer has too many particle effects that reduce performance. So they decrease the fire rate, but increase the weapon's damage to keep the DPS the same. So I'm actually kind of interested to see how that goes. They increase the weapon damage. So now that anything that benefits of weapon buffs or anything might kind of make this gun perform a little bit better, but they reckon to keep DPS same, but we'll F and see about that, bro. Now, a big change to some of the spells is we have the Windweaver Arc Torrent, the Windweaver Dancing Arc Torrent, the Wind Cloudburst Arc Torrent can no longer roll with +1 projectile. This does not affect existing copies of the spell. The extra projectile mod never functioned with these spells to begin with. So there you go. Even though it said it had +1 on there, it was never working anyway, so they just took it away. Maybe they can't fix it. Maybe it was never intended that way. Maybe it's just a bug that it's saying that it's +1 projectile. So they've taken that away to further avoid confusion, obviously. Also, apparently, I didn't read this underneath, but the Wideweaver Bonding Arc Torrent can now roll with an extra projectile mod. Just does not affect existing copies of the spell. So this one was actually not in the list mentioned previously above. So even though the 1+ projectile wasn't working on the other Arc Torrents, apparently the Wideweaver Bonding Arc Torrent can now roll with an extra projectile mod. Why not, you know? Throwing a throwable hole into a singularity would not properly increase the damage. Wow, so the throwable hole might actually just receive the buff here. That's actually kind of nuts. Kind of keen to check this weapon out now. So it was already kind of strong because the enemies stand in the AoE pool and it does a fair bit of damage. But now, apparently, the damage was increasing properly. So definitely go and check out the throwable hole if you have not. Now, obviously, guys, there is a bucket load more stuff if you want to come in here. And I'll leave a link to the patch notes in the description below. If you want to come through and just read all this yourself, there's a lot of interesting, just niche little quality of life updates that they've done. But I mean, would be here for like a goddamn friggin' hour if I were to try and explain this. So kind of just went over all the highlights, I would say, from the changes there. But now let's get to the class adjustments now. Obviously, we got two to go over. I'm surprised they didn't put Greyborn and Spore Warden here, but again, I suppose that was a bug. Their action skills were meant to be hitting critical hits, they just weren't. But we got class adjustments for Berserker, increased Dreadwing's damage as it scales with higher levels by 28%, and addressed a UI concern with the Dreadwind melee frequency appearing incorrectly on the HUD. Again, I play Berserker, I didn't really notice that, I suppose, but they fixed it now anyway. But now the Dreadwing's damage as it scales with higher levels by 28%. That might be pretty cool. That might actually be something worth trying out. Clawbringer got a buff, but is it enough? Is it enough? I don't know. But we do have the Clawbringer buff. I mean, everyone that plays Clawbringer is going to be pretty happy about this the way, because they're actually showing the class some love, even though they just nerfed it the other day, which I don't know why. Increase the damage radius of Cleansing Flames melee damage, remove the cooldown on the Storm Smite skill, increase Storm Smite's damage as it scales with higher levels by 50%, improve targeting from Storm Smite, and remove Storm Smite's delay between the puddle and the lightning bolt spawning. So again, I don't effing play Clawbringer because it is just so bad. Haven't actually done a build on Clawbringer yet. But for anyone that does play Clawbringer, is that good? Is it worth it? Does it make this class even viable now? I'm not sure. Leave a comment in the comment section below. That's it for me, guys. If you do like these kind of videos, could you please leave a like on the video to show that you're enjoying this kind of content? And yeah, I hope to see you over in the live streams. We stream live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 p.m. Australian Western Standard Times, basically every week. So it'd be really cool if we could see you guys over there. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. Have a safe day. Peace out.